Hello, welcome to my YouTube Dev's Journey, and today I will be giving you guys a review on Mexico City. In this video, I will cover my first impressions, weather, what I liked, what I didn't like, and the food. All right, the pesos and also the safety will be covered in a whole separate video because I don't want to make this video too long and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get straight to the point. Also, this video will be timestamped. All right, so if you guys, want to go back to a certain part, you guys can just do it easily. Just check out the description for the timestamps. All right, first impressions. So, Mexico City is a very, very big city. All right, when you guys are coming in the airplane, you guys will notice it immediately. Like, from the sky, the city doesn't even end. Like, it's so spread out, so many buildings, and yeah, it's a very huge city. Actually, Mexico City is the biggest city in North America. Is actually bigger than New York City. All right. So, with big cities come a lot of traffic. So Mexico City has a lot of traffic. There's a lot of people and La Reforma. La Reforma is kind of like Times Square. And Mexico City and New York City, they resemble each other a lot. Both have very big parks, more or less in the center. New York City has Central Park, and then Mexico City has Chapultepec. And then the statues, like, everybody knows the Statue of Liberty in New York City. And then in Mexico City, it's called El Ángel de la Independencia, which means the Angel of Independence. Both have great public transportation, buses and trains or metros or subways, whatever you guys want to call it. But they have good public transportation. The traffic could be a pro or a con, depending on how you look at it. And that's why the traffic is not in my pros or cons. All right, now we're into weather. All right, so when I went to Mexico City, I went in August. All right, so it rains a lot in Mexico City in August. I don't know if it's like that every August. I don't know if that's like the rainy season, but when I went, it rained basically every day. And I'm talking about, like, it started like in the afternoon, it rained mostly. So like maybe like after like 4 or 5 o'clock, there was like, sometimes it was like, like really loud thunder and lightning, pretty good rain, stuff like that. So it rained like every single day I was there. So definitely bring an umbrella if you go in August. Bring a rain jacket, or actually a few rain jackets, to be honest, because it rains that much. So Mexico City is a pretty high city as well. So it's like 7,000 feet above sea level. So you're more or less close to the sun. So that means the sun will be stronger and the weather will be a little colder. All right, because it's a higher city. So I noticed in the mornings that in Mexico City that it was pretty cold. So like about maybe 60, 65. And then at noon it would hit like 75 degrees. And then at night it would drop to maybe like 50. So basically by noon you wouldn't really need a jacket or a sweater or whatever. You would just be, in a short sleeve shirt, But in the morning and night, that's when you're like, okay, yeah, it's getting cold, So definitely keep that in the back of your mind too. The weather, how cold and how hot it is. Also, bring sunscreen too. I forgot to mention that. Because since the sun is stronger, depending on who you are, the sun can affect your skin. So I definitely recommend sunscreen for sure. Okay. Now the food. All right, so a lot of people, they always told me that the food in Mexico is incredible. You gotta try the food in Mexico. You gotta try the street food and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna lie, as you guys saw in my vlogs, I tried it. I tried everything. I tried not everything. There's a lot I have not tried that I want to try. But the food is amazing. Nonetheless, the food is amazing. Honestly, before the trip to Mexico City, I never really been a big fan of Mexican food. Like, and it's just really where I live. Like, I live in Ohio, so I live so far away from the Mexican border. So, like, the Mexican food here, it's hard to find good Mexican food. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Like, it's very difficult. Actually, before I left, I actually found a pretty good Mexican restaurant, and I compared that to when I went to Mexico, and I was like, wow, like it's kind of the same, but food is incredible. It's so incredible. In my opinion, my personal opinion, I think that the street food is better than the restaurant food. I know some people probably disagree with that or say like, wow, that's crazy, but I know like the street food is really that good. I would probably say my favorite food in Mexico, either chilaquiles or tacos al pastor. It's like, man, it's so good, so good. But yeah, so the food is really that good, and when y'all go to Mexico, man, y'all gotta get the street food. All right, so I just wanted to mention this, like, what type of Spanish level do you need if you want to go to Mexico City, and are there a lot of people who speak English in Mexico City? Well, the answer to that question is you need a pretty decent level of Spanish to go to Mexico City because there's not a lot of people who speak English. Outside of the tour guides, obviously I've been on some tours as you saw in my vlogs. There's not a lot of people who speak English. I mean, they speak very broken English, but they don't speak how a tour guide speaks, or how they speak in like Cancun or Cozumel or Puerto Vallarta or Isla de las Mujeres, or stuff like that. They don't speak like that. It's very, very broken. So if you're asking for directions, they'll respond to you in broken English. So you need a pretty high level of Spanish to go to Mexico City. Do I feel like my Spanish has improved after the trip? Yes. Did I use my Spanish a lot on the trip? Yes. I talked to so many people, in the Ubers, and just normal conversations, and stuff like that, and it was awesome. I utilize my Spanish every day. At least I try to utilize it every day. So do I recommend you going to Mexico City knowing the basics of Spanish? No, I don't recommend that at all. But I feel like if you are going to travel to be able to practice your Spanish, I feel like you need a level, like an intermediate level. All right. And obviously, you'll feel like you'll know when you're in intermediate. You'll definitely know when you're intermediate. But that's in my opinion. But a beginner should not go to Mexico City to practice your Spanish because it's not going to be, it's going to be very overwhelming for them. If you're a beginner trying to learn your Spanish, go to a resort because they speak English. They speak fluent English. Well, basically fluent English. Their levels are very high. So yeah, that's my recommendation. All right, now I'm about to go into the pros. The things I like. All right, Michael, the thing I love most about Mexico is the culture, man. The culture in Mexico is amazing. The culture is very distinguishable, and you just feel the culture, man. Just as soon as you just land and just start exploring the city, people are very nice. They're patient. They help you, and stuff like that. So, it was a really, really great experience. And the thing I love is like, you know, if you get lost, like if you're just like exploring, you just find culture. Like if you just walking down the street, you see street vendors, or you see Los Valedores de Papantla. And I was like, man, that's crazy. We were just walking. We were on our way to the Anthropology Museum, and I was like, wow, like Los Voladores de Papantla. I mean, that's crazy. Like, man, like they're amazing. Like, I recommend for you to just to take some time out and try to find them if you're in Mexico City or in another part of Mexico, because you know it's just incredible, man. Like, I loved it a lot. But yeah, that's really what I loved. You know, another thing I loved was how big the city is. You know, like I said, I'm a fan of big cities because when I go to a big city, I'm like, there's a lot to do. Let's do a lot. You know, Xochimilco, La Basilica de Guadalupe, Zócalo, Centro Histórico. You know, so many places, and you know, it's hard for me. It's still hard for me to pick my favorite part of the trip because you know I did so much and I experienced new things, and you know, the trip was just incredible. Really, really was incredible. And I recommend this if you want to go to a city for culture. You gotta go to Mexico City because Mexico City is a great city for the culture. All right, these are the cons of Mexico and Mexico City that I didn't really like, and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna lie. You know, I just want to start off by saying this: nowhere is perfect. No city is perfect. You know, and I know that. But you know, like I said, you know, these are my opinions, and this is my travel experience. And like I said, I make these videos just to help y'all. All right. But anyway, let's get into the cons. All right. The number one con that I did not like, and it's all over Mexico. It's not just Mexico City. Is you have to pay to use the bathroom. And I feel like this is more strange with me because I'm American, and you know, there's nobody pays to use the bathroom in America. Like, you know, I've been to, I think I counted 26 states. I've never had to pay to use the bathroom at all. So that was very, very different for me. And you know, but it wasn't like a lot of money. It wasn't like I'm paying like, you know, $5 or $1 to use the bathroom. No, it's like 5 pesos. And if you guys don't know, it's like 5 pesos is like a quarter or 50 cents. But it's not too much. But it's like, you know, why am I doing this just to use the bathroom? You know what I mean? So that's actually one of the things I did not like about Mexico City. Another thing I didn't like about Mexico, you know, it's a double-edged sword. You know, it took my body a minute to get used to the food. And this, like I said, this is just me. Food is really good, but it just took my body a minute to get used to the food. So I feel like if I would have had more time in Mexico, I feel like my body would have got used to the food a little quicker. But the food's worth it though. It's really good. The food's really, really good. But I guess that's just, you know, really anybody, because I saw somebody, he went to Dominican Republic, and he said his body took a minute for him to get used to the food. But when I went to Dominican Republic, I was fine. So I guess it's just personal. But me personally, it just took my body a long time to get used to the food. But anyway, that wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for the peso breakdown and also the safety. If you guys found this video helpful, Please like, comment, subscribe, and share the video to somebody who's thinking about going to Mexico or Mexico City. And yeah, I'll catch y'all on my next one. Peace.